Hi there, my name's Anna. I'm going to teach you a little bit about my practice, as well as show you how to do some embroidery and make a little stitched painting. I'm an artist that many of my artworks use or reference sewing and textile techniques, including embroidery. What I'm doing here is I'm just drawing up my grid. So I just use a grey lead pencil and divide it up evenly into 4 squares across and 4 squares down, and that becomes the basis of how I draw up a design. So I'm just doing a simple diamond shape in the middle, and then a smaller shape that it then becomes the basis of my design. And then the different squares I might actually do different colours, and you've already seen the embroidery thread that I use, which is stranded cotton. It comes in skeins like this that you can buy from most craft shops, and then it gets really tangled up, so that's why I wrap it around these cardboard little things. So I generally use about an arm's length of thread, and the stranded cotton, you actually have 6 strands in each thread, and I divide it up into just 2 of those strands, which I thread onto my needle. So just pull out 2 of those strands, and then you can just pull that cotton apart, and you can wrap the remainder back onto your other cotton, and then you've got this one to work with. So just threading up those 2 strands onto a needle. I generally use embroidery needles, and once you've threaded that up, I'll show you how to use how to make the satin stitch. Just tie a knot at the end, and now you're ready to stitch. You'll need your embroidery hoop. I generally buy the smaller hoops because I work quite small, and it's good to have a embroidery hoop that allows the fabric to go around the edge. So to use those, you just undo that, put the hoop underneath, and then the holder goes on top, and it just stretches the fabric so it keeps it nice and taut. It's a good idea not to have it really tight, because then it's often hard to get the shape of the circle out by ironing it at the end. So you can just tighten that so that's nice and taut, and you can see the design ready to be stitched into. So to do satin stitch, you just come from the bottom. I'm just going to do that area there, and you're basically just going in and then around, so you're stitching right next to where you're already stitched before, and you're creating what looks like satin fabric, which is nice and shiny, and you're giving the effect that, in a way, I like to think of it as painting with thread. So you're filling in that colour. Hi again. I've been sitting at my desk stitching for about half an hour to an hour, and you can see how far I've come from when I last showed you what to do. I'm just going to show you, I'm finishing off this this yellow section, light lemony coloured section. So I'll just flip it over, and you can see that the back of the stitching is pretty similar to the front, and it's good to try and keep it quite neat on the back. You can get all tangled up, which isn't great. So to finish off your stitching, it's good to tie a knot in your stitching at the end, and then to put your needle exactly where you want the knot to finish, and that finishes it off nice and neatly. And then sometimes I actually tuck in the tail to the stitching, so putting it back on your needle, threading that, and then threading that back through where the stitching has come from, just so that it doesn't hang out and you can see it from the front. So then I just chop that off. I'll show you some finished examples as the last slides, but I just wanted to explain that this is a slow and meditative process, which I really love. It's a great thing to do at the end of the day. The rhythm of the stitching is really calming. I often have a cup of tea and do some stitching at the end of the day, sometimes watching TV. And it's a slow process which I really enjoy. Enjoy! Thank you. Bye.